Have you ever felt the fire inside you, like it's been snuffed out? A moment when you saw the truth about life, about yourself, through a profound spiritual experience, or even a mental crash. You thought this would be the spark, leading you to fierce passion. But then, what happened? You felt empty, no longer wanting to chase goals, no longer caring about what once made your heart race. Where does that feeling come from? You're not alone. Thousands of people, right here in America, are quietly facing this strange paralysis after a spiritual awakening. Today, we'll explore together why this happens, and I promise you, this isn't a sign you're failing. Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in psychology, once said, "Awakening isn't the destination, it's a doorway leading you to your true self." Through his lens, we'll understand why this loss of motivation might be the most sacred turning point in your life. Are you ready? Join me to unravel this mystery and rediscover a fire, not the old one, but a deeper, more lasting flame from your soul. This video will guide you through 5 steps to not just understand, but overcome this strange phase, from realizing your old ego is fading to finding new motivation, one not built on pressure, but on truth. Stay with me, because your story doesn't end here. It's only just begun. Part 1. The emptiness after awakening. Picture this moment. You've just had a spiritual awakening, a flash of insight, like you've seen through the veil of life. Maybe it was a long night of deep reflection, or a quiet moment when everything clicked. You thought, this is it, the start of a vibrant new you. But then, what happens? Instead of feeling on fire, you feel empty. Your soul, like it's gone silent. The goals that kept you up late, the dreams that made your heart race, now feel like distant echoes. You wonder, what's happening to me? Where does this feeling come from? You're not alone. Thousands across America, from bustling cities like New York to quiet Midwestern towns, have felt this. I heard a story about a friend always chasing meaning. She read every book, from Eckhart Tolle to Alan Watts. And then, after a profound spiritual experience, she felt she understood. She saw through the illusion of success, of the ego. But months later, she was lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, not wanting to do anything. She told me, "I used to cry because I wasn't good enough. Now I don't care if I achieve anything." Is this what awakening is? This is the paradox Carl Jung, the brilliant psychologist, warned us about. A spiritual awakening doesn't always bring the blazing fire you expect. Instead, it can leave you feeling numb, like you're drifting in a fog. But this isn't failure. Jung believed this emptiness is a sign you're entering a sacred phase where your soul begins to reshape. The question is, what will you do with it? Will you stay stuck or find a new path? Stay with me, because we'll uncover why this happens and how to move through it. Part 2. Awakening is the death of the old ego. So we've seen a spiritual awakening doesn't always bring a blazing fire. Instead of feeling full of energy, you might fall into an emptiness, like your soul is lost. But why? Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in America and beyond, had an answer. He said, awakening isn't the finish line. It's the start of a death, the death of your old ego. You're wondering, death? Yes, but not in a bad way. Imagine your ego like a house you've lived in your whole life. Suddenly, awakening arrives, and that house begins to crumble. Jung explained, Your ego is the part of you always wanting to prove itself, to be liked, or to succeed. It's the driver holding the map of your life, from picking a job in Los Angeles to dreaming of buying your first home. But when you awaken, you realize that map is no longer right. Old goals, like getting promoted or crafting a perfect image on Instagram, suddenly feel foreign. You don't want to chase them anymore. The result? You feel directionless, like a car out of gas, stalled in the Nevada desert. But here's the key. Jung said, your ego doesn't vanish completely. It's still there, confused, lost, without a new map, and without direction. Old motivations, like waking up at 5 a.m. to hustle, fade away too. You're not lazy. You're in a sacred phase. Jung called the pause. Think of it as a moment between two breaths, not failure, but a chance for your soul to draw a new map. The question is, what will you do with this emptiness? Will you fear it or embrace it like an invitation to discover your true self? This isn't the end. It's the start of a deeper journey. Stay with me, because we'll explore why old motivations vanish and how to find a new fire from your soul. Part 3. Why do you lose motivation? We've seen a spiritual awakening can shatter your old ego, leaving you in a strange emptiness. But why? After seeing the truth, do you lose all motivation? Carl Jung, a brilliant mind from the last century, cracked this puzzle. He said, your motivation was once fueled by a very human part of you, what he called the persona. Wondering what that is? It's the mask you wear to fit into the world. The part of you that craves love, success, or applause from folks in New York or Texas. Think about life before your awakening. You woke up, ran 3 miles, checked emails, dreamed of a promotion, or buying a new SUV. There's nothing wrong with those things. They're the fuel of your ego, pushing you forward, like a car on a California freeway. Jung called this how we grow, how we survive in society. But when awakening happens, everything shifts. You see through that mask. Suddenly, chasing fame or trying to impress on LinkedIn feels like a game not worth playing. The result? Your old motivation vanishes, not because you're lazy or failing, but because those goals were built for an old version of you, a version that's gone. Imagine you're an actor stepping off a Broadway stage, realizing the script you memorized no longer matters. You don't want to recite those lines anymore. Jung said, this is when your ego loses its old energy. The things that got you out of bed, like mile-long to-do lists or 5-year plans, now feel like scraps of paper. But here's the beautiful part. You haven't lost motivation. You've outgrown it. Your soul is asking for a new kind of fuel, one not based on proving yourself, but on becoming your true self. The question is, where do you find this new fuel? How do you step through the emptiness and find a fire, not from pressure, but from the truth? Deep inside, stay with me, because we'll explore the next sacred phase, where your soul begins to lead the way. Part 4. The sacred pause, a phase of transformation. We've seen old motivations, like a once bright flame, confis leut. After awakening, your ego no longer knows what to chase, but what comes next. Carl Jung, with timeless wisdom, called this phase the sacred pause. Wondering, sacred? Yes, this emptiness isn't a pit of failure. It's a bridge leading you from your old self to your true self. Imagine you're standing on the Golden Gate Bridge, fog hiding the way ahead. Scary, but full of promise. Jung had a special term for this moment, enantiodromia. Sounds odd, right? It means your soul is shifting from the ego's hustle to profound stillness. Before, you thought, I must do everything, succeed, stand out, in Chicago or Seattle. Now you wonder, why do anything at all? This isn't laziness. It's your soul finding balance, like the sun setting before dawn breaks. Think of old stories from rural Appalachia, where folks spoke of hermits quietly stepping away from the world to find deeper meaning. Jung said, this pause is like a caterpillar, dissolving in its cocoon, no longer a worm, not yet a butterfly, just a mysterious moment where everything transforms. Modern society, from Wall Street to Silicon Valley, might call you slow, but Jung insisted, this phase is vital for your soul to be reborn. But be careful, Jung warned. If you mistake this pause for an excuse to hide, you could get stuck. Some people, thinking everything's an illusion, disconnect, drifting like ghosts. In Las Vegas, don't let that happen. This void is an invitation to face yourself, to discover what you truly want. How will you cross this foggy bridge? With fear or courage? This is the moment for your soul to speak, to draw a new path, not based on pressure, but on truth. Stay with me, because we'll explore how to find motivation again from your very core. Part 5. Finding new motivation from your deeper self. We've crossed the sacred pause where your soul begins to find balance. But how do you rediscover motivation when your old ego no longer leads the way? Carl Jung, with his profound vision, pointed out, new motivation doesn't come from external pressure, but from your deeper self, your true core. Wondering what that is? It's the quiet flame burning inside, not needing applause from crowds in Manhattan or Miami. It's a compass guiding you to truth. Instead of the spotlight, imagine you're walking on a California beach, waves gently crashing, and for the first time, you hear a whisper from your soul, not the frantic voice urging you to do more, earn more, but a slow rhythm asking you, what truly makes you feel alive? Jung called this the symbolic life, where you don't chase mile-long to-do lists, but follow your intuition, like a surfer riding the flow. This new motivation isn't loud, isn't anxious. It's like waking up, not to an alarm, but to an idea, quietly calling your name. How do you start? Change the questions you ask yourself. Instead of, what must I do to succeed? Ask, what's quietly pulling me forward? Instead of, what's my 5-year plan? Ask, what feels true today? Maybe you start writing in a journal, not for social media, but to explore yourself. Maybe you say no to a shiny opportunity, even one glowing, in Silicon Valley, because it doesn't feel right. Jung said, when you live from your deeper self, you don't need to rush. You just respond to small signs, like a dream, a moment of synchronicity, or a gut feeling. Here's the beauty. This new motivation isn't fueled by adrenaline, but by alignment. It leads you to create, to heal, or simply to live more authentically. You'll find yourself working, not for rewards, but because it's what your soul wants to say. Are you ready to walk this path? Stay with me, because we'll tie it all together and find how to turn this journey into a life full of meaning. We've just journeyed through a profound exploration of why a spiritual awakening can leave you feeling lost, and how to rediscover a new fire from your very core. Carl Jung showed us, Losing motivation isn't the end. It's an invitation to step through the void and live from your deeper self, where truth guides you instead of pressure. Imagine you're standing on a Colorado hill as the sun sets, and for the first time, you feel peace without needing to race anyone. Now you have a choice. You can keep living as you did before, caught in the grind of Seattle or Miami, or you can listen to your soul and start a new journey, even with small steps. Maybe it's writing a journal page, or simply saying no to what doesn't feel right. Jung reminds us, awakening isn't the destination, it's the beginning of a meaningful life, where you don't just exist, but truly live. I want to hear your story. Have you ever felt empty after an awakening moment? What's calling you right now? Leave a comment below, because this community, from New York to California, is where we share and grow together. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to keep exploring psychology, spirituality, and how to live more authentically. Thank you for being here on this journey with me. Remember, your fire never truly went out. It's just waiting to be rekindled in a new way. See you in the next video.